Okay, enough. What's up, everybody? It is Spicy, the original AF. Yes, y'all. And I'm black, and I'm back, and I'm black, and I'm blacker than black. I'm black. Y'all know that song? And I'm back, and I'm black. I'm black. I'm blacker than black. I'm black. That's right. Okay, that's a song way back when. Just go Google it. Go YouTube it. I'm back, guys. It's nice to be back. Soon, I might be on a camera. Maybe, I don't know if anybody would care, but maybe soon. We just do a little bit of that. Oh my gosh, it is so much happening in America. It is definitely revelations happening. It's definitely the end times, y'all. Trump is president. He's president, and I have been emotional. Let me tell you this. My siblings, my brothers, both have said that they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me. My boyfriend, we'll call him my boyfriend. He can be my boyfriend today. Does not want to talk to me because about Trump. Well, he's more open to talk to me about Trump because I get very aggressive, very assertive, very angry, emotional, and not very good communicator with all this, and need to be humbled. Well, somebody else needs to be humbled too. I'm not the only one, and there's so much going on. The best place I can start is this preacher, a bishop. Now I want you to pay attention to, before I even ask that, anybody watching this, can you please hit the like button to help me? Obviously, I struggle. I don't know why. People get on YouTube, they good at it. They get likes or they get views. I don't know what it is about me, but it's a struggle for me. So if you can support in any way, I ask you to like the video at least. I would appreciate that. And so, yeah, I heard Trump. I saw the Trump family at church day after his inauguration, and I was disgusted, man. Vance, you see him, you see his wife. I'm really irritated with these people, man. These people are rich. They can have anything they want. They can buy anything they want. They can pay your bills and mine, and yet they still are bitter. That's how you know money does not make you happy. It doesn't bring happiness. It can't replace peace. You cannot buy those things. They are not to be paid for, man. These people was getting the word. The preacher was preaching. And if you pay attention, even Melania, I was giving her a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I said, Melania is probably a victim. She's probably a victim. To me, I gave her a little bit of room, a little grace. But no, even her face when you about to watch this, her face told me everything I need to know, and I will not defend that behavior. Because there's people with nothing that can find kindness, humility, humbleness. That's what humility is. You know what God said in his word? I am a Bible thumper. I am not the perfect Christian, and I'm not going to pretend because I cuss on here and everything. But I can tell you this. I love the Lord. I love God. I always did. I have a relationship with him personal. It's no religion. We don't believe in religion. We are not religious people. We are believers of Christ. We follow his teachings. If y'all don't know, Jesus was also always talking to the governors. If you don't know, Jesus was an advocate. Y'all talking about Black Lives Matter was a demonizing Black Lives Matter. But the purpose of Jesus when he was on this earth living in a body was to protest people to salvation, to give them the gospel, to have them get saved, tell them to love each other. In the Bible, it also says, do not oppress. Don't oppress the stranger in the land. That means the immigrant. He was teaching us, all these people that are not Christians, claiming to be Christians, they can't even love their neighbor. They can't even love themselves. You got these oath keepers. You got the Proud Boys that came for the GOP, which are the Republicans in the Capitol. They came to cause grave harm to them. some people passed away. They came for them. And you got the GOP now inviting them to the Capitol building to eat and drink tea. I would divorce them. I would divorce. See, like I said, if I was the wife of these people, these Republicans, I would divorce your butt. And I want your money too. I would rather have the money than you. I don't want no punk man. I don't. Now, I don't want to make the mistake and cuss, which I probably will, while I talk about God, because God does not like these things. He's a God of holiness and purity. We sin. He doesn't. So anyway, the GOP, the Republicans, there's talks about them inviting Proud Boys that Trump pardoned to the Capitol building to give them a tour. These are the people that came for their heads. They was running from these people, scared. Men, scared. They supposed to be protecting the women. They are running from them. People was running and trying to save themselves. And now they inviting the very people that put them in danger to the Capitol building. I'm just disgusted. For one, as a woman, I'm more man than you. And yet y'all talk about LGBT so much. But y'all see, here come the cuss word. Y'all scary. Y'all inviting them to the Capitol building. UPUSSY. That's what you are. And like I said, the women you have, they ain't worth because a real woman, she can change she can listen. Let me not put myself in a corner. No one can change anybody, right? You can't stop somebody from doing what they want to do. But a real woman, a strong woman, she can influence you. And that's a fact. I really want to say she can change you. She probably can, because I mean, it's facts. Men that love their women, they do what they ask them to do. When women that put their foot down, gets them men in line. It's either do it this way, the right way, or I'm done with you. Get. So I don't know what's up with Melania and all these kind of women. I don't know your type, because these women, the influence y'all have on your husbands, y'all have none. Y'all have none. You're not changing them for the best. And I know what a woman can do. I know the power we have. If you can't help that man change, he's still the same or worse. That means you ain't doing your job. You sitting up on your ASS, collecting checks and looking down on the poor. And I don't feel that. And that's why I lost all the respect I had for Melania. I had a little bit of hope, a little bit of grace for Melania. This preacher I'm about to play, maybe y'all heard, but I was hollering. I would love to sit in her service because I love good teaching. I love articulate etiquette, or I like the loud preaching. I like the emotional. I like the strong, because I'm strong. But I also respect and love when it's not always loud and boisterous. But see, God is so good that God will meet you where you are. And I believe that this Episcopal preacher was the level that Trump needed. Now, see, Trump is playing with fire. He's playing with fire. I see what I see. I feel like this was a warning for him. Think in terms of God giving him one more chance, and listen to the way this woman is speaking to this man and the things she's bringing to him. I'm telling you, before destruction, there's a warning. He made it. He almost died. They almost took him out. People plotted on his life. He don't know it, but people are plotting on him. And then I see the test. Before I play this video, I want you to know, I see this thing. I can see God testing these people. He giving them a chance. Everything they doing is being written down. One day they will see him face to face, and they will answer for every decision they made. When this woman began to speak, it's like she was speaking out of the mouth of God. It's like she had God anointed her so that she could be real calm. And she can continue. I didn't feel no nervousness. Even if she was nervous, it's like God anointed her and took away all nervousness. He needed the message to get to Trump and his family. who looks down on people that's poor. He looks down on immigrants. She needed to let him know as a final plea. Now, I don't know when he's going to go. He could go in 20 years, 10 years. Who knows? None of us. We don't know. But it just comes to me as it was a warning. God did save his life. And then that's the test. So God saved your life, right? So when he sees you face to face, he can very well tell you that I saved your life. I saved you just because I know you wasn't ready. I'm giving you another chance. And you gonna, and what he does, he's gonna hear it again. But check out this bishop. Check out what she had to say. And look at their faces as they absorb what the woman says. Or are they even letting it penetrate? I look for all faces. I was reading spirits. I was looking for the one face where I could see anyone who may have received the word from God, who would have received it and took it and let it humble you. Because God's word is a two-edged sword. It goes in and it goes through you. And when you take then the Bible also says the Father chastises those he loves. But if you don't want to hear the chastising, you don't want to get the rebuke because knowing you did wrong. You reject knowledge. And God said in the word, now I'm preaching, them that reject knowledge are stupid. That's the Bible. You can look it up. Google it. All right, take a look.
May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, for you are our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated.
It's a shame so many men and women struggle with hair loss. This special hair restoration solution helped me.
Here we go.
Again, my warm welcome to all who have gathered in this house of prayer, for all people and for those who are joining us via live stream. As a country, we have gathered this morning to pray for unity as a people and a nation. Not for agreement, political or otherwise, but for the kind of unity that fosters community across diversity and division, a unity.
Okay, really quick. Notice she said two things so far: political and diversity. These are the things that the word will judge you on. God, and I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna keep stopping it. God knows I will try not to. But God does that when he want to speak to you. He always the word. He don't have to scream. He doesn't have to. His word is already written and it pierces. And when he speaks, he's speaking to you. That word is going to judge you and me. It's going to judge us. So take it or leave it. Diversity. All right, let's listen. I won't keep stopping it.
That serves the common good. Unity in this sense is a threshold requirement for people to live in freedom and together in a free society. It is the solid rock, as Jesus said, in this case, upon which to build a nation. It is not conformity. It is not victory. It is not polite weariness or passivity born of exhaustion. Unity is not partisan. Rather, unity is a way of being with one another, that it encompasses and respects our differences, that teaches us to hold multiple perspectives and life experiences as valid and worthy of respect, that enables us in our communities and in the halls of power to genuinely care for one another, even when we disagree. Those across our country who dedicate their lives or who volunteer to help others in times of natural disaster, often at great risk to themselves, never ask those they are helping for whom they voted in a past election, or what positions they hold on a particular issue, and we are at our best when we follow their example. For unity at times is sacrificial, in the way that love is sacrificial, a giving of ourselves for the sake of another. In his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus of Nazareth exhorts us to love not only our neighbors, but to love our enemies, and to pray for those who persecute us, to be merciful as our God is merciful, to forgive others as God forgives us. And Jesus went out of his way to welcome those whom his society deemed as outcasts. Now, I grant you that unity in this broad, expansive sense it's aspirational, and it's a lot to pray for. It's a big ask of our God, worthy of the best of who we are and who we can be. But there isn't much to be gained by our prayers if we act in ways that further deepen the divisions among us. Our scriptures are quite clear about this, that God is never impressed with prayers when actions are not informed by them. Nor does God spare us from the consequences of our deeds, which always, in the end, matter more than the words we pray. Those of us gathered here in the cathedral, we are not naive about the realities of politics. When power and wealth and competing interests are at stake, when views of what America should be are in conflict, when there are strong opinions across a spectrum of possibilities and starkly different understandings of what the right course of action is, there will be winners and losers when votes are cast, decisions made that set the course of public policy, and the prioritization of resources. It goes without saying that in a democracy, not everyone's particular hopes and dreams can be realized in a given legislative session or a presidential term, not even in a generation. Which is to say, not everyone's specific prayers, for those of us who are people of prayer, not everyone's prayers will be answered in the way we would like. But for some, the loss of their hopes and dreams will be far more than political defeat, but instead a loss of equality and dignity and their livelihoods. Given this, then, is true unity among us even possible? And why should we care about it? Well, I hope we care. I hope we care. Because the culture of contempt that has become normalized in this country threatens to destroy us. We are all bombarded daily with messages from what sociologists now call the outraged industrial complex. Some of that driven by external forces whose interests are furthered by a polarized America. Contempt fuels political campaigns and social media, and many profit from that.
Eat 'em up. Eat 'em.
But it's a worrisome, it's a dangerous way to lead a country. I'm a person of faith, surrounded by people of faith. And with God's help, I believe that unity in this country is possible. Not perfectly, for we are imperfect people and an imperfect union, but sufficient enough to keep us all believing in and working to realize the ideals of the United States of America, ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence with its assertion of innate human equality and dignity. And we are right to pray for God's help as we seek unity, for we need God's help. but only if we ourselves are willing to tend to the foundations upon which unity depends. Like Jesus' analogy of building a house of faith on the rock of his teachings as opposed to building a house on sand, the foundations we need for unity must be sturdy enough to withstand the many storms that threaten it. And so what are they? The foundations of unity? Drawing from our sacred traditions and text, let me suggest that there are at least 3. The first foundation for unity is honoring the inherent dignity of every human being, which is, as all the faiths represented here affirm, the birthright of all people as children of our one God. In public discourse, honoring each other's dignity means refusing to mock or discount or demonize those with whom we differ, choosing instead to respectfully debate our differences, and whenever possible, to seek common ground. And if common ground is not possible, dignity demands that we remain true to our convictions without contempt for those who hold convictions of their own. Second foundation for unity is honesty in both private conversation and public discourse. If we're not willing to be honest, there's no use in praying for unity, because our actions work against the prayers themselves. We might, for a time, experience a false sense of unity among some, but not the sturdier, broader unity that we need to address the challenges that we face. Now, to be fair, we don't always know where the truth lies. And there's a lot working against the truth now. But when we do know...
Oh, this daggone commercials. She eating, y'all.
When we know what is true, it's incumbent upon us to speak the truth, even when, especially when, it costs us.
Now, let me say this. Speak the truth, even when it costs us. Is she not speaking the truth? It might cost her, because after this, he went and he posted. He didn't like the service. Speaking the truth, even when it costs us. That's what we talking about, strength. We talking about fighting, and I'm not going to keep talking about the end. It's kind of long, but I want you to peep their faces. Who in this crowd hear the words of God through this woman? Who can humble themselves, humble their heart, and actually, even though it's kind of like embarrassing, let the words let it make you a good leader. That's all I want to know. But let me continue with this.
The foundation I'll mention today is foundation for unity is humility, which we all need. Because we are all fallible human beings. We make mistakes. We say and do things that we later regret. We have our blind spots and our biases, and perhaps we are most dangerous to ourselves and others when we are persuaded without a doubt that we are absolutely right and someone else is absolutely wrong. Because then we are just a few steps from labeling ourselves as the good people versus the bad people.
Look at him.
And the truth is that we're all people. We're both capable of good and bad. Alexander Solzhenitsyn once astutely observed that the line separating good and evil passes not through states, not between classes, nor between political parties, but right through every human heart. Through all human hearts. And the more we realize this, the more room we have within ourselves for humility an openness to one another across our differences, because in fact we are more like one another than we realize. And we need each other.
Yes.
Unity is relatively easy to pray for on occasions of great solemnity. It's a lot harder to realize when we're dealing with real differences in our private lives and in the public arena. But without unity, we're building our nation's house on sand. And with a commitment to unity that incorporates diversity and transcends disagreement, and with the solid foundations of dignity, honesty, and humility that such unity requires, we can do our part and in our time to realize the ideals and the dream of America. Let me make one final plea, Mr. President.
Ooh, whoa. Go ahead, girl.
Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens.
Look at him.
Or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
I thought she did I loved it. I know people would get bored, but I love it. I don't mind when the scriptures beat me. Like I get a beating. I don't mind, because that's God's word says he chastises those he loves. If he did not care about you, he would let you run a rampant. He would not even pay you attention. But when he is paying attention and he is giving you words that make you feel uncomfortable, that means he cares. So how did they receive it? Well, Trump said he didn't like it. When the media asked him, how do you like it? He said, how did you like it? He said, I didn't. It wasn't very good. You know what Trump liked? He liked the black man. To my surprise, the preacher was supposedly on MLK Day doing this marching, I don't know, prayer. It was fake. I felt more God in her than I did with that man. But Trump seemed to like that guy, the performer, because Trump likes performance, you know. So that was that. I hope that he still take heed. The rolling of eyes, the disrespect, and the not taking the humility, not taking the word, says that the word says, like I said, the word will judge us. God said those that hate knowledge are stupid. They're stupid. That's what he said. And so If you don't want to take that word that was written, then you can choose to not take it. Harden your heart. You know, and I looked at Melania and I looked at the Indian lady, who are both looking like immigrants to me. Like I said, to me, I see this in a whole different way. I see this as really somebody's final days. I don't know who. But you don't know when it's going to be your time. When you done, you done. You are gone. You don't know if it's going to be and when it's going to be. So I did see this as maybe a plea from God. Because listen, as much as Trump didn't want to hear that message, and she came to plead with him to have mercy. She brought that word. She talked about the children as scared. People are scared, man. Do you know these people be praying to God? They be praying. They got a relationship with the Creator. And he is concerned. He's concerned. And Trump chose to run to be the president. He didn't inherit this. This is not a king. He didn't inherit this. It's not like his father was a king, passed away, and now he has to be a king. You wanted to be a president. Since you want the responsibility, you got to be a responsible leader. And you got to be the leader of the poor. I was listening to a preacher today, and I got to go. I can't even go live. I have to come back. But I was listening to a preacher. I listened to this preacher. And what did he say? He said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And the preacher said, in the world was the gay, the straight, the black, the white, the Spanish. In the world was the rich, the poor. God loves us all. And although it might sound like a fairy tale, it's not. It's not. Trump, this is Judgment Day. I see it. I see it so clear. And if you don't take heed to these warnings, because God knows it's almost time. It's almost over. 78 years old. Almost over. He keep giving you chances. And what are you doing with it? Well, what did he do with it? Got rid of E.E.O. I'm not going to be for y'all alone. Hi, you said wrong. He is revoking D.E.I. BS because it causes more division. He dropped that hammer deal with it. You could say that. That's your opinion. I disagree. People that usually have a job that they like, maybe people that have a job like you, or you have income coming in that you like, black people, let's be specific, that may be looking for a job, and stop pretending half breed, because you are half brain, in my opinion, for coming at me like that. You don't even got to come at me like that, half brain. Because when you're talking about dropping diversity, equity, and inclusion, a stem from civil rights, all it's asking for is treat people fair. Do you not understand that people are racist? You think that we now in this country, even though it's minimal now, because of the efforts of Obama, because of the efforts of Democrats, because of the efforts of Biden, Kamala, they put a lot of effort. You don't have to agree, but they put a lot of effort in, and that's what you feeling right now. But take back D.E.I., which is diversity, equality, and inclusion. Take away E.E.O., which is equal employment opportunity. Now I showed y'all the circle, and excuse me and forgive me, because the thing is, I put 3 twice. Take away, number 1, you repeal civil rights. Take away the civil rights. Number 2, dismantle D.E.I. And I did this a while ago because I was pissed off because I could see the vision. If you repeal the civil rights, we no longer have the laws that back us up. Anyone can discriminate. It's their company. If they don't want to hire you, they don't got to hire you. You're black. They don't got to hire you. Take away DEI. Again, efforts that are going to generate equality for us. And you do got people white supremacists that don't like you black. I don't want to cuss. I'm trying not to cuss. But it's definitely there. You definitely got systemic racism. Then, again, you can't sue them because there's no longer a law to cover you, to protect you. Now, number 3, you remove the requirements of race. Because I heard Trump say he does not think that we need to have a metric. We don't have to have a certain amount of black people, a certain amount of white people, Asian. We can just have merit. Even though if there was merit, his tail would not be the president because he is not a politician and he does not have governmental background. There is no governmental background. So how is he qualified to be the president when that's you have to have a public service or administration, some kind of degree? Because of D.E.I, he can be a president. Are you serious? Now, number 4 was supposed to be 4. Endorse place lawmakers in office. We see it. Majority of the lawmakers are Republicans who don't care nothing about you. Your black face. There are some good white people. I adore them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a specific, just like he just did with the pardoning them, the Rico people, because they committed Rico. The dude that got 22 years for the Proud Boys that got the 22 years, Trump pardoned him. Pardoned all of them. 1,500 people was pardoned. I forgot what I was about to say, but the lawmakers that are in there that are majority are Republicans who does not have a concern for you, half-breed. Now, I don't understand the thinking of black people that they feel that they are accepted. They feel that they identify with, I want to say Republicans. I don't want to say white. But like I said, y'all, it's a lot. You're feeling the efforts of the presidents and the Democrats, whether you like it or not. And I wish that some of y'all didn't even get the rights because you don't respect them and you don't care. DEI is important. At my job, we had training a couple years ago. We had programs that helped us. And you know what? It was good. Because honestly, a lot of y'all are feel some type of way towards LGBT. Some of y'all feel bias towards gay people. So yeah, I do feel that it's a little left. It's too much when you have to say he, she, they, and this and that. Hey, Spitting Fire. I do. That's how I feel. You said you don't feel like it's acceptance. I do. I feel that a lot of black people, they would tell me how you feel, and I respect it. You know what I tell you, Spitfire. I don't try to be righter than nobody else, but I can come off that way, so that's not what I want. However, I have to say, I had the program at my job. It benefited people. What we feel is because of the civil rights. You know why you don't feel that half-breed? Is because you don't know what it feels like to be a slave. When black people, when they roll back enough of these rights, then maybe y'all will feel it and it'll impact you. The federal workers that got laid off and now they don't have a job, they feel it. They feel it because they don't have a job, all because they was DEI. And this is another thing I noticed about Trump and the rest of them, the Republicans, and honestly, white people. A lot of y'all, I seen this, not all, and Spanish people. Y'all demonize Black matters, black things. Y'all demonize it, like calling us woke this, woke that. Thank you, Palmin. Woke this, and please, like, if you feels me, y'all demonize us. But then y'all turn around and after you demonize wokeness, like you keep hearing all these Republican whites people say woke this, woke that, but they using it in a negative connotation. Then once we no longer use the word, if we allow them to control us, then they take the word. Just like they demonize Kamala Harris. And I know a lot of people don't like Kamala. That's cool. I thought Kamala could have been an antichrist at one point. I thought, because I'm my beliefs and stuff, I don't know who. I just know that the time is near. But anyway, they demonized Kamala Harris, calling her a DEI hire. I think me and Spitting Fire talked about that. Thank you. They demonized her, DEI hire, incompetent. To me, and then and what I think is black people, they didn't even know that they were being controlled. Who started that? White supremacists, in my opinion, and y'all just roll with it, is my opinion. DEI hire, and guess what you see now? You see Trump has a woman for his chief of staff. He has a woman. Melania is now going to say she's going to be more upfront this time. Why? Because they really admired Kamala Harris' intelligence. This is what I see. They really admired her strength. She was strong. Michelle Obama, they demonized her, called her tranny, said things about her, just attacking her as her physical appearance. This is getting dirty now. Now, if Michelle attacked their appearance, what would y'all say? Spitting fire. What would you say? Have free. What would you say? Is it okay? Because that's what they do. Every time I turn around, they are demonizing. But then they turn around and then they steal whatever we doing. Personally, I feel like Kamala is qualified. And I don't need she don't need my feelings. She did the work. She was a prosecutor, studied law. She was a senator, a vice president. Therefore, she has merit. Trump, what do you have? What do you got? What do he have? He said he wants to get rid. Hold up, where's that? He said he wants to get rid of DEI fact sheet. President Donald Trump protects civil rights and merit-based opportunities by ending illegal DEI. The way they even word things sounds like DEI. Get your stuff more classy and clean, artsy, because it's looking a little bit DEI to me. Protecting civil rights and expanding individual opportunity. Today, President Trump signed an historic executive order that protects the civil rights of all Americans and expands individual opportunity by terminating radical DEI, preferencing in federal contracting, and directing federal agencies to relentlessly combat private sector discrimination. Now, what I disagree with is the fact that this is supposed to help the black man and the black woman. I don't know everything there is to know about contracts, governmental contracts, and business starting opportunities. But I was watching a man on the news. I mean, he's more smarter than me in this area, talking about they tried to hide some stuff when it came to who was getting percentages of government contracts, businesses of minorities being white women, black, minority groups like race by race, black, Spanish, Asian. They gave black people the least amount of money to start businesses for their business. White women got the most. And they were saying how they don't speak out about DEI. They silent. Now, I don't think everybody's silent. I give credit where credit is due. There are some that speak and don't, and I respect it. But there's a lot that don't. Asian was next. Black people Spanish was next. Black was last. Y'all keep thinking that DEI is a bad thing. How can it be? How? Like, okay, I will tell you how I think. If you hiring people that can't do the job, okay, that's a bad hire. And allow that person to stay employed is bad. But let's talk about, and I can even give you an example. When I watched the Young Thug trial, oh my goodness, the Georgia lawyers down there, the lawyers, oh my God, they was terrible. It's embarrassing to watch. I was disgusted and disturbed because you have an opportunity. You got to work twice as hard, and you screwed up. And come to find out, the other one, the prosecutor that's supposed to take Trump to court and win, she's sleeping with somebody. So now her business is out here and she's not doing good for the culture. So as a black person, what I know is that we do have to be more sharp when we work and when we move. I think that's what I see. But anyway. Oh yeah, let me check. Let's see. I just don't see how giving people equal opportunity, because y'all, this is why maybe y'all think in your mind that there's no systemic racism. That's what I was going to say. Maybe in y'all mind, before I go and I'll come back, y'all think that there's no systemic racism, and that's why you demonize, horrify DEI. But let me tell you the perfect example of systemic racism. Trump pardoning January 6 inciters, giving them all blanket pardons is systemic, right? It's systemic racism. They don't have felonies now. They can get guns again. How many people in your own family did less and got more time and got a felony and can't get a gun? How many people? There's definitely systemic racism. We're not going to play that game. There's definitely. And he doesn't want to go by metrics when it comes to working and no having to making it fair. Hire black people, hire white people, hire Asians, hire Latino people. He don't want to do that. He don't want them to do that. And you get rid of DEI. I just showed you. You do that. Also, we stop funding public school education. So now you want to reward by merit, but yet you want to take away the money that's going to help people to get some education. So what's your plan, Trump? What's your plan? Take away education and you tell us we're not qualified? Is that the plan? It's already hard enough keeping black people in school, because a lot of times they be dropping out. They do, especially black men. Unless it's changed, that's what I have seen. So many people drop out. But y'all say DEI is a bad thing, and y'all getting attitudes about it. Obviously, I hit something. Not y'all. That one half breed. I don't think it's bad. I had it at my job. Did y'all have it at y'all's? I had it there. And at my job, when we had it, all we did was learn to respect other people, their differences. And because it's a law, companies can't discriminate, dog. They can't discriminate. You can sue them. But again, if you can get rid of the law, then they can't sue you. And you could not hire them if you don't want, because there's no records, there's no ratio. We're not going to count and do percentages of black, white, this and that. So there's no tracking method. We don't have to track. We don't have to do that. We can hire who we want, because the reality is it's still racist in this country. And this should show y'all, just like they demonize Black Lives Matter. And look, they praise people that go and come for them. Like I said, I would divorce these men if I was the wives of these men. I would not be married to a punk. I'm not going to be more man than my man. A man is going to stand up for me. And yet the only one that stood up is Trump's ex-vice president Mike Pence's wife. She's the only one, Karen Pence, that stood her ground. While Obama was smiling in Trump's face and kikiing, Karen Pence was able to stand while she sat, and as he walked by and wanted her to embrace him, she ignored that narcissist. And she got the power that day. And that's what I'm talking about. Standing your ground. But you know what? I think that people don't respect DEI and what it brought. And yes, there are people that abuse it. And yes, we as a people, I saw this last year. I told my own mother, I said, black people going to have to stop throwing black this, black that, because they're going to get tired of it. I saw it. I saw that Young Thug trial and how the lawyers was oh my gosh, they wasn't organized. The one lawyer with the dark skinned one, I don't know her name, but she was too ghetto. The judge had to ask her to be more artsy with her words, Because you are an attorney. It's a lawyer that messed with the guy on trial for murder. She was married to him. She got married while he was on trial for murder. She coming in there with the braids. Braids are okay. But it was the way that she carried herself that I didn't like. Now, if you want to talk about that being bad, I can agree on that. But I can't blame that on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Unless that is the product of that. And I don't know if that's what's happening down in Georgia. I don't know if what's going on down there, but we got to clean up. We got to represent. We got to do the best we can do at our jobs. And like they say, 10 times harder. And it's sad that we have to. Why can't we make one mistake when they can make, when you got Pete Hegseth, Pete Hegseth went in for the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, who is a black man, who is probably in his 80s. Pete Hegseth keeps talking about he's going to fire the woke generals, and I'm going to get rid of wokeness. Trump is also doing that. He's wanting to fire that guy. Because that guy they said, go on AWOL. Because he went to the hospital and did not tell President Biden. He didn't tell nobody knew where he was for one day. And that was dumb. That's getting too comfortable. When you think you can just disappear, you in good. You think you got a friend. You don't got no friend. You don't got no friend. So yeah, he messed up. He went AWOL. They held that to his feet. They did not let him live that down. They accused this man of being a DEI hire. No matter what he did for this country, all he is to them is nothing but a DEI hire. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if you telling me I'm a general and I got all these badges on me. Forget what they call, but I got all these things on me that says that I done passed major, I done passed lieutenant, master chief. I've been a sergeant, I've been an officer, and now I'm a general. You're not gonna tell me I'm not qualified. But one mistake he made, they're firing him. But yet you got Pete Hegseth who's getting his position. Pete Hegseth got abuse charges coming out as of today. He's got taking advantage of people sexually, which is the R word. He's got that on his belt. He can't say he ain't do it because he looked guilty when he paid the woman off. Being accused of mishandling funds when he was a head of VA programs. Mismanaging money. Taking a program under. Being drunk at the job. These are all his dings. But guess what? Trump still want him to be the Secretary of Defense in charge of the military. So don't come to me with that, because y'all don't make that don't make sense to me. That don't. DEI is that. That's DEI. That. But anyway, I digress. I got